Today I'm going to be doing the middle part flow haircut that is trending. It's kind of becoming, I think, almost like the new TikToker haircut. Again, this is something that I've been doing for years upon years, and I'm going to be doing it today. Now, the first thing I want to make note of and kind of celebrate and announce is my vent brush. The vent brush is officially back in stock. So this was the one that I was selling, which was another brand. And I believe from what they told me, they're gonna stop selling this. So I said, please, can you give me your manufacturer? Because this is the best vent brush, best anti-static brush I've ever used. And I was able to have this company make my own mold for this. So this is officially now my own brush. And I don't have any logo on the handle, it's just black. I made these all black here, so it's a very sleek looking. It's the same exact technology, except it's under my brand now. So they were able to create a new mold without any sort of text and certain things here. So it's mine now, and it's still the same brush, but it's back in stock. I am so excited now. This is a must-have as far as vent brushes. The rubber handle is what makes this unique. No one else could, and I searched for like 2 years, could make this handle. So here we go. First thing I'm gonna start off with is using 25 spray. Now 25 spray is ideal as a cutting lotion as well as keeping the hair nice and moisturized with the 25 benefits. It's perfect for detangling. That's what really one of the top benefits of 25 spray is. If you have longer hair, it's amazing for detangling. And then you use the brush, and then just like that, no knots whatsoever, it just falls right into place. So when I'm doing these haircuts, what I'm trying to do is create a center part right from the start. And if you're a professional watching this, you really want to set up a roadmap for your haircut. And to me, that's doing it with like a center parting. So once we have the center parting, that's giving me a roadmap to say, all right, I have to have this flow into the side down through here. Now from that center parting, I'm going to take a section right behind the ear, which is called the division point, and that separates the two. So I'm literally just going to comb this out of the way, so I know that I'm working on the, you can see right here, I'm working on the sides and the front and the back. So you want to really make sure that that's obvious if you're a professional. If you're just a consumer watching this, then this may not be super important. If you're trying to do this on someone at home, which I know a lot of you like to watch my haircuts and attempt them at home, my first disclaimer is do it at your own risk, okay? Do it at your own risk, and there's no guarantees, but a lot of you seem to be doing haircuts fairly well based off of watching my tutorials. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the back, and I'm simply going to create my length. The length of the foundation of the haircut is very, very important, all right, because that is what dictates the whole thing. So there's a few ways you can do this. I like to do this sometimes just in one shot, depending on how thick the hair is. So let's take a section straight across like this, just to get this hair out of the way, and I'm gonna hold this hair up. Now, I don't even need to use my fingers or my hands, to be honest with you. I can just literally look at the guide right here underneath, and I can just cut this in one shot. And that could be my base foundation of the haircut for the length. In the back, remember, in the back. So you can also do the method where you use the comb like that. And once again, I always say when I'm doing these haircuts, because I'm trying to go on like 19 different angles here, sometimes it puts me in an awkward position and the haircut ends up being a little bit uneven, Steven. But that's totally fine because we can fix that. All right, so the base now in the back is done, and this is gonna give me a much better visual cue as far as like where I need to cut this to go into the bottom length. When you're getting this type of haircut, just make sure that you understand and you explain to the professional saying, I want my hair to be, fairly short throughout the bottom, maybe a finger's length, just say, I don't want to use any clippers on it. It depends on you, but, the shorter you go, obviously you're going to have to change the shape of the haircut. I'm not going to use any clippers on this. I'm literally just using all my scissors. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, which I don't always normally start here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right in the very, 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 very front. And the reason being is that I want to be able to establish this length first. And I know, once again, yes, I'm wearing a black shirt. All right, so here is the length, and I'm going to the very, very end. So you could see that this length here is probably like 3/4 of the length of the comb. Okay? It's about 3/4 of the length of the comb right into here. So I'm making sure, and you can even see this is about 7-inch, this scissor. So I would say this is like a 6-inch length right in through here, the top. Now, this is going to be my guide that I cut everything to. Now, what do I mean by that? So now I'm turning the head sideways like this. I'm going to comb all this down, and I'm going to be working from my center parting here. I'm going to comb this straight out from the head. There's the length, and now I'm just going to cut to that. Okay, I'm going to cut to that piece, and I'm going to work my way all the way down. Now, here is where things get tricky, because we have to match the bottom length. We have to match this into going into shorter length throughout the bottom here. So I'm pulling everything straight out from the head, and what I'm doing is I'm going to be cutting on a downward angle. Okay, I'm going to be going now. Also, these are new mannequin heads, and these were made overseas in Asia, and from what it looks like, this is 100% Asian hair. I can assure you that, because the way this lays and the way this falls and how thick it is, it's definitely not Caucasian hair, I can tell you right now. So that means that we have to pay a bit more attention to how everything is being cut because of that. So your hair type, yes, does play a big factor in how the haircut comes out, because every hair type is different, right? Every hair type is different. Some ethnicities, the hair is a bit more finer, some it's a lot more curly, some it's, more straight and wavy, there's all sorts of different things. So what I'm doing now is I'm literally just cutting this section by section. I'm pulling the hair out so I can see my guide, and I'm now just following this pattern, right? And I'm holding on to the last section, which is my guide. You're literally holding on like this so you don't lose that. Now, you can always come back, which I am going to do, and work the bottom in through here, especially when you're going a little bit shorter. But what I'm doing is I'm combing everything straight out from the head. And I'm also starting to slightly pull it back a little bit towards me the more we get in through this part and through here. And the reason is because I really want to try to protect some of that length up top. And then what I can do is go back in and remove any excess weight throughout the corners and through here. Weight is a very important thing that is needed a lot for haircuts. So here's that division line right in through here that we just made before. So now I'm combing this all straight back to me. Okay, I'm combing it straight back and I'm standing behind it. I'm not venturing out into that area, simply because I want to protect this here, and you'll see when I comb this down, we protected this. But now it's going to allow me to remove what I need to remove, because sometimes if you don't do it properly, then you're going to have some gapping and things like that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to comb this out this way. And now I'm gonna cut downwards. I'm cutting palm to palm. This is gonna allow me to go a little bit shorter down in through here. When I say palm to palm, my palms are touching this way. So my palm is facing me holding the hair, and the palm is facing the head that I'm cutting. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking diagonal sections and I'm cutting, again, palm to palm. And the reason I'm doing this is simply because it gives me a better angle of attack, so to speak, or a better way to see the hair flowing a little bit better. All right, so now I'm just going to continue this all the way down. And like, you can do scissor over comb if you want, if you feel like it's absolutely necessary. And I may end up doing some scissor over comb, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to work everything in this one manner right here. So now I'm going to continue this way. And when you hold the hair in a different angle, what happens is a lot of times is you're able to see, you know, from a different perspective of how it's cut. All right? So this side, for the most part, is almost done. And I'm just going to go back in now and remove some of this excess weight. And also, what's crazy about this is the fact that this texture is very kind of more of a thicker hair texture. This is going to show off any sort of mistakes. So we really need to be even Steven today and super, super precise and super accurate. So let's push this out of the way. And hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Yep, let's push this out of the way. And we're going to come back to this a little bit later. But right now, we've done a good job on this side. All right, I just want to show you this side because I still have to do this side as well. So I'm going to continue the same technique and the same method that I did when we first started. Here we go. Look at all that hair right there. And I'm going to cut upwards like this. And I'm going to comb this down. And I'm going to follow this pattern and this guide. Okay. Next part, next section, I'm going to comb on top this way and kind of, I'm starting to push the hair away from me. And I'm going to go down this way. And once again, I'm pushing away, but now I'm cutting upwards. I haven't changed my body position. I'm not standing in, you know, an awkward body position. I'm standing where I feel, you know, very comfortable and very natural. I'm not throwing my arm over the head. A lot of times people cut the opposite where they're coming over this way. You don't need to do that. Just protect your body and don't put yourself in an awkward situation when you're cutting. That's really what it comes down to. All right, here we go. Now we're getting down towards the bottom area. And this last section right here behind the ear, which I call the division point, make sure we comb all this hair from the scalp, and we're going to push away because I want to protect that length. Let's go down to the very, very bottom here. And there we go. So now we have to continue to blend this all in like we did just before. So here we go. We're going to go on this side here, and I'm going to comb down, and now I'm going to cut palm to palm. So now I'm cutting downwards, and it's allowing me to get a little bit closer, as you can see. Now look at all that hair that needs to come off. That's a lot of hair. But the way this is, it's very, very, I would say sharp almost. This hair texture is extremely sharp. So what I'm looking for are pieces of hair that are much, much, much longer. Let's push this out of the way. And that's why we kept the length in through here. So now I'm going to go in this side. Okay, now I'm cutting upwards like that. And once again, I'm really trying to be cautious of the camera angle, which is why things are sometimes a little bit awkward as far as my body positioning. All right, so now that this is all done, for the most part, I want to go in and do some scissor over comb, and I want to check the balance for this haircut, and I could already see that this is unbalanced a bit. That's the thing about Asian hair, very poker straight hair, is that a lot of times the hair may need to be cut, right, and recut. So let's make sure we're keeping this wet, very, very damp. I like to go in with just straight up water, as well as my 25 spray. The 25 spray really is an amazing product for cutting. for cutting, just for making your hair feel really good. If your hair is super dry, this is really an amazing product, to be honest with you. It's my #2 bestseller. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to start to get aggressive. Now that the hair is a bit more damp, I can see all of this hair that needs to be cut. Let's turn this way here a bit more so you can see. And let me know if you like this new background, this new salon type area that I have. This used to be where I would see clients, but I've retired from seeing clients now, and I'm just focused on my products and creating content at my own schedule. I know a lot of you want to see live models. It's not always the easiest, to be honest with you, because of my schedule, and I keep very, very busy. So I need to do things kind of, I don't own or operate a salon or a barber shop or anything like that. So, even though I have my own space here and I could have this as a salon, I'm done. After 30 something years, I'm just done seeing clients. All right. Now, you're probably saying, my God, man, you've been going over this area for so long. Yes, that's what happens. This type of hair needs all that love and attention. This is where everything is really going to tie in. Now, the best thing about doing scissor over comb on this hair texture is also I'm going to do it when it's dry. But this is the initial scissor over comb method for when the hair is a bit damp still. But this type of hair really responds well to this when the hair is dry. Now, keep in mind, when the hair is dry, just be careful because it's like needles. Okay, this hair is so thick and so sharp that it literally will be flying all over the place. So just make sure that if you're doing any sort of dry cutting on this hair type, that you just watch where the hair is flying off. Trust me from my experience. And watch for hair splinters. Hair splinters in your hands, specifically from this hair type. It's literally like a needle. A needle is in your hand or your finger. It's literally excruciating. You got to get tweezers. I used to carry a pair of tweezers all the time so I could just pull out the hair splinters because it's not fun. Those things definitely hurt. Now we're ready to move on into the sides and this part right in through here. All right, so remember, we got to keep this flow going, and we have to remember where our layers ended right in through here. So we have two options. What we can do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to comb this down, and I'm going to cut this hair right under the ear, like this. I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer, like that. Okay? Next section right here, that little piece. And I'm going to bring everything down to this one part, leaving the hair longer towards the front, like that. And let's bring all this down here. We're going to comb this down, making sure we have some length throughout the front, right in this longer part right there. And the reason I say you want to leave the hair longer in the front is because if it's too short or it's shorter than everything else, it's not going to have the right flow. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to match this up right in through here because this part is going to be a little bit shorter. So I'm matching this to blend into this. Now watch what's going to happen. You see that chunk of hair? I'm going to cut that off. And then what we can do now is work our layers and our blend into all of this. So let's just get this out of the way. All right, we're going to get this out of the way for now. and you can see we've already created somewhat of a flow going back. Let's do this side. I like to always just do this side to get the hair out of the way, so we're working fairly evenly. All right, there's the guide from right there, and I'm going to cut this to right there. Let's make sure that we are on the same, and nope, I'm like an inch and a half longer on this side. Let's see what we got here. Even Steven is not being very even right now. All right, bring this down. I'm going to cut up. And there we go. Okay, last piece right here, right in the front. So let's just now double check, triple check everything to make sure we are looking good. So the hair should look like this. You should be able to see the hair kind of falling down in front, and that's what we need to establish. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the layers in throughout the top. And how do we do that? Well, we go back to our initial section that we cut right into here. And now I'm going to comb this all straight back, and we're going to connect all of this into here. You have to layer the top. And the only reason I suggest layering the top is simply because that's what's going to give it the flow, that's what's going to give it the best blend, that's what's going to help it lay properly. Okay, now it's time to work into the very front. So here's the very front right here, and I'm going to cut horizontally now. So that means I'm cutting in the very, very center, and I'm going to cut this straight up. Next section, straight across and straight up. And as we get to the front, you're going to see that we don't have much hair to cut in the front. So I'm going to over direct this slightly out this way, and I just cut this very, very front here. Now we have to, this is what seals the deal for this type of haircut. And I apologize once again for wearing a black shirt. I know you're all going to yell at me, but here's what seals the deal on this. We have to do the corners and the sides. This is extremely important because there's all that hair right there. On the corner, look at all that hair right there. That's all the hair that needs to come off right there. This is what is going to help you create the flow, this part right here. And as we get to the front, you want to make sure that when you're in this part here, that you just over direct this slightly, and you don't cut any corner off in through here, or else you'll have like a little bit of a hole. Next, we're going to cut the sides. All right, the sides are down here. So we got the top, the corners, and now the very, very sides. People think like, oh wait, this is, no, look at all that hair. Look at all that hair needs to come off. Boom, right there, gone. Okay, here it is on this side. Go to the bottom here. And you could see all the hair from underneath that needs to be cut. Now, this mannequin, the way the hair was stitched is like a lot thicker in the front and in certain areas. I don't know why they did it this way. Like in here, it's like super thick, and here it's like barely, I don't know, it's very, very fine. I think these mannequins are not the greatest, to be honest with you. This is a new batch of mannequins, not where I normally get them from. I want to experiment because the pictures look pretty good, but probably never again am I buying mannequins from this company in China, okay? Let's see here. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to just go in and soften this up a bit, and also bring this up slightly right around this area. So I'm just creating a bit of a, and I'll do some dry cutting, but now you can see we've got the flow going on right in through here. We've got the flow. And if you want to go shorter, you can. And that's what I'm going to actually do right in through here. I'm going to cut this a bit higher. A lot of this is detailing work for me. So I really end up going in and like double checking, triple checking, and customizing a lot of this. And mind you, we haven't even gotten on the other side yet. All right, so here we go. Now it's time to do this side. First stop is the corner. There's all the hair in the corner that needs to get cut. Right there. Let's lower this down. And I know some of you may be thinking, oh, you're just blabbing on and on, blah, 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 blah. Well, for those of you that are 14, I'm going to explain something to you. I, early in my career, worked for major beauty companies as a professional educator. So I am very prone to just teaching and explaining and being very, very thorough and in-depth. And if you are a younger individual and can't appreciate it or understand why I'm talking so much, it's because I'm trying to teach something here. And if you don't want to, if you're not down with that, then that's totally cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to educate people because there are a lot of people here who do watch my tutorials and literally use them to cut people in their house or their clients or learn new techniques. So that's what's really more important to me and valuable to me. All right, so now we're going into the sides. Okay, we did the top. There's a ton of hair right there. It needs to come off. And the hair will basically, like, it'll be very obvious what needs to come off. Because, you know, you could see, I mean, look at all that. It's all hair that's in through here that is just a bunch of weight. And I think it's always better to take off the weight, you know, towards this part of the haircut rather than early on. Okay, here we go. So now this part is done in through here, and I'm going to cut this even shorter like I did on the other side. And now I'm going to work this in this way. And I'm going to kind of point cut into this just to make it a little bit softer in through here. Now you can point cut this, you can use thinning shears, you can use texturizing shears, whatever it is, but I guess for some reason the way they stitched this made it very, very thick right in this area here, okay? Which I'm not really a huge fan of, but this could be your hair. I mean, this literally could be like a result of how your hair is, you know what I mean? Like, that may be your hairstyle, or that may be how your hair is on the side. So, you know, everybody's got their own individual hairstyle and the way their hair naturally is. All right, so very, very front. I'm going to slightly just trim that, but we want to make sure that we are getting all of this hair in a flow like this. All right, so let's brush this all back and let's see what we got. So this side is way too long for my liking. So I'm going to point cut this side here even shorter. Let's go so we can go there. On this side here, same thing. I think I'm going to end up needing like thinning shears or something like that. Okay, so let's brush this all back. See how the hair is flowing? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blow dry this. I'm going to be utilizing a couple of things. One is a sneak peek of a new product that I'm launching. This is Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave is absolutely necessary for individuals who have hair texture like this, where it's very, very soft, very flyaway. This is an absolute necessity for this. All right, so now I'm going to blow dry. This is my blow dryer right here. I'm using the nozzle, and I'm going to mostly use my hands. Here we go. Blow dry is done. Now what I want to do is brush. Okay, you can see that there's those pieces that we've got that center flow that we're looking for. I just absolutely hate most of the other stuff. So I'm gonna go in with my thinning shears, especially down and through here, and I'm just gonna start to remove some excess weight. Now, you can be a bit more aggressive with hair types like this, right? When the hair is super, super thick and through here, as you can see. So I'm going in very aggressively and taking out a lot of that weight down and through here. You need this with, I've noticed with Asian hair types, so you can see it's softening it up already. And this is all about feel. So I'm gonna go in here and really, really remove a lot of this weight. So I'm being very aggressive. Again, try this, caution, doing this at home yourself, but this is all about feeling and seeing what's happening as you're cutting, okay? This is really, really crucial part of this entire haircut. So it's actually really helping bring down the weight quite a bit. Let's go in through the top here. Yeah, so much, as you can see, much softer, right? The flow, it's looking a lot better, a little more blended and softer, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Next up, this is going to be my new sleek right here. This is being made right now. I've relaunched Sleek. This is the official packaging, which is, they sent me a tester for this. It comes in a pump. But this, look how beautiful this box is. So this is an updated version of my smoothing serum and hair repair serum. But this is the actual formula right here. This is the final formula. I'm gonna do 1, 2 pumps like that. And the reason it's this color is because of one of the ingredients, which is natural, creates this natural color, all right? There's no artificial coloring in this. So I'm gonna work it through the hands, and it's, you don't need a whole lot, but it's, it's got some oils in it that are gonna really help benefit the hair. So you may actually not even need as much as I put on. I have a tendency to overuse a lot of product. So what I'm doing is I'm working this through the hair. And what this is going to do is help smooth it and seal it, okay? It's gonna smooth it and seal it. And already, you can see the flyaways are going away. It's adding much more natural shine to it. It's taming the hair down, making it look a lot softer. Look how much healthier that looks, right? Look how much healthier that looks just from running my fingers through it with this product. And this is something, it's not, it's not heavy. I tested this firsthand to make sure there's specific ingredients that I didn't want in this haircut, like coconut oil. So I made sure that this product didn't have coconut oil in it, because coconut oil clogs your pores, especially on your skin. And I learned that from an esthetician. Said the jojoba oil, which is in this, is the one that's most natural or close to what your skin naturally produces. So I made sure this had avocado oil, jojoba oil, marula oil, all sorts of amazing oils that are in this, okay? So here we go. Here is the finished look. And let me know what you think of this flow haircut. Again, it's somewhat of a 90s hairstyle, to be honest with you, but I'm seeing so many people going back to this, and it's becoming a bit of a trending type of hairstyle. So I really want to know what you all think of this haircut. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to purchase any of my products, especially the vent brush, the blow dryer, Tidal Wave 25, any of those, even my carbon comb is great for this type of hairstyle, then you can go to shop.thesalonguy.com and use code YouTube20 for 20% off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.